Olivia Nuzzi. We've been covering this so very thoroughly, which is the journalist who left New York Magazine because it had been revealed that while she was reporting on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential campaign and then subsequently him joining the Trump campaign, she was having a digital relationship with him, not just of a sexual nature and an affair in his relationship and her relationship, but also she was, while reporting on him, like giving him advice and guiding him through advice on what he could do to get out of this scandal and how he should deal with the debate, and so, which is obviously what caused her to kind of get disgraced. But she experienced a lot of really interesting things. And I did see, to not her credit, but to this author's credit of Mediaite, an op-ed that was the Olivia Nuzzi Ryan Lizza mess is less shocking than the creepy men who escape scrutiny. And I do want to make that point that she gets a lot of hate. And I understand why she's getting tons of criticism. She did something journalistically wild, ethically, but it doesn't actually feel like the people that she's then, the anecdotes that are being exposed about some of these other guys, they're not getting as much heat as she is. So that is interesting, because Bobby was participating in that too. And we're talking about it. We direct most of our attention at him. But that's not really the vibe in the broader discourse about this. It's mostly about her. And I do think she's getting a lot of hate. And she did something, again, so unethical. But then this went on to talk about, like, you had stuff about Keith Olbermann and about a former Republican governor, Mark Sanford. And they're not really getting anywhere near the type of vitriol. But then also, it talked about something I don't understand, because I'm not like a Washington, D.C. journalist, right? I just do my podcast here. But that maybe it's a little more complicated than I gave it credit. Obviously, engaging a romantic relationship where you're personally giving them advice on a bunch of political issues while you're reporting on them is just wrong and shameful. And not disclosing that to your readers. But how this has happened before with journalists where they actually are required, they have to get really good scoops, to develop really intimate relationships, not to the level that Nuzzi did, but with the sources, and then to cultivate that relationship to have a good source to report on good things and have all the different takes from inside the White House or from inside of a campaign. You have to maybe make them feel like you're their friend, the politicians, and maybe give them advice on things. And often when it gets exposed that journalists are doing that, the politician doesn't get as much heat as the journalist. For obvious reasons, the journalist is the one who upholds journalistic ethics, but is more of a gray line than I would have thought of how to cultivate those sources. So then it's more understandable than I maybe would have thought that can quickly slide into very unprofessional territory. And then you have the Nuzzi example, which is, and she acknowledges this, she slid all the way into crazyville. But my friend, very good friend, just a great human being. Can I just say that? From all I know. Maybe there's a skeleton I don't know about. Tim Miller interviewed her, and he is so good at, I felt like this is such an interesting way to conduct her first big deep dive interview, because he was really good about pressing her, but then being a listening ear, but then pressing her again, but then being sympathetic. And it yielded a lot of really interesting developments. So credit to Tim Miller. And we'll look at some of these clips. Again, she had that affair with Bobby, and then her ex-fiance is also publicly crapping all over her, and then she's crapping on him, and it's just a big crap fest.
He's now the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Like, you kind of allude in the book that he's doing drugs. Like, is he doing drugs?
I mean, I tell you what I felt like if I could tell you responsibly in the book about that, right? I talk about him telling me that he is doing some drugs. I didn't administer any drugs, so I can only tell you so much. But I tell you what I think you should know about that. That's the information that I had about that, right? Him telling me that, this person who says that he's sober, right? And he was telling me privately that in fact he was not sober, and he was hiding it, not just from the public, but from his own wife, among other things And
That's one of those where it's breaking news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is on drugs. What? Wait. Hold up. Bobby? The bear carcass guy? No way. Yeah, I knew. We knew. Same thing with Elon. Before I play more of this, have you been a bad boy? Do you deserve... Stop, wait. This is a promo, right? Wait. Have you been a bad boy? Have you been a bad girl? Do you deserve coal in your stocking? Do you deserve clean, beautiful coal in your stocking? Go to lukebeasleymerch.com. If y'all don't know, if you could cut to with a Cole cam, if you'll play the soundbite.
Clean, beautiful Cole.
This is Cole. If you're just jumping on our channel, great guy, scholar, athlete, etc. Stud. And he is producer Cole. Once Trump started saying we need clean, beautiful coal in reference to Cole, then we found it hilarious. And now much of our loyal audience members don't
doing coal.
Yeah, don't even refer to Cole as Cole ever or producer Cole. They just call him CBC, clean, beautiful Cole. And someone suggested, you said Ann, who, do you remember the name by any chance?
Alan, I think.
Alan. Yeah, Alan suggested we make clean, beautiful Cole, but like coal in your stocking merch. And so Cole did. All I got for Christmas was clean, beautiful Cole. Just amazing. And it's a little Cole emblem, and it has our show logo on the front. No one will know what that is, but you'll know, and we'll know. And our dream is to be walking around, and we do pretty frequently see show viewers out in the world. What we've never seen, though, is a show viewer in merch. And it'd be so cool to see a show viewer in All I Got for Christmas with clean, beautiful Cole. So lukebeasleymerch.com if you want that. I did say on the bonus show, we specifically lower, you can see the price. In this business of merch, that price for like the order and ship, we don't produce like bulk merch. We just, when you order it, it gets printed and then it gets delivered to you. That's the lowest you could possibly make it price-wise, to the point where we specifically intentionally make no money so that we can make it as cheap as possible, just so you can rep your show merch. So yeah, $25 for a t-shirt for being delivered to you and it not being a bulk order is actually pretty darn good. Okay, here we go.
I write that in the book because I think it was in the public interest to do so.
Right.
Right.
You mentioned TMT, but like, is he doing other drugs? Is he doing ketamine? Is he doing...
I mean, I think I write in the book that I had asked him about another drug I heard that he was doing, and he had, emphatically denied it. But I can't say that I make much of his emphatic denial of anything.
Sure.
I feel like he does some weird drugs.
I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class.
Okay, he doesn't do heroin. I don't think he does heroin anymore, and we don't want to make fun because he actually had serious heroin issues, and that's not what it is. But I feel like he would think of now I feel bad. I forgot that he was like a heroin addict. All right, correction.
McDonald's cheeseburger.
Previously, clean, beautiful gold. Previously, I made it sound like, yeah, of course he's a drug addict. That's not what I meant to say. I don't want to make fun of people's drug addiction. It sounds like I just mean, of course he's out. You know what I meant. If he's like actually still addicted to heroin, I feel bad. And I hope he gets treatment. This sounds more like he's trying to get a little bit crayon kitty or something. That's what we call it in the biz. So I didn't mean to say it that way. We love everyone. I don't like him as a person or his policies, but in terms of drug addiction. Okay, here's another clip. It got very emotional, and it was, heavy stuff.
He was trashing you. Mm-hmm. He's being nominated to be HHS secretary. His reign, I think, as you said in the newsletter today, you agree with, has not been good. You had information that you could have shared. Look, Matt Gaetz got denied. It's possible. RFK wasn't even a Republican. It's possible that these senators could have not, confirmed him, and you didn't share anything about him. Why? Why? Did you still love him, or Like, was it just...
I don't know how to responsibly handle this on camera with you here. I'm writing in that scene that you're talking about how I felt privately, about my private reaction, how I felt privately. Right.
But you had acted public.
What did that mean? Excuse me. What did that mean? I didn't understand what that meant at all. Your private reaction was what you were having privately, and you wrote about that in the book. So now it's so did you understand? Tim Miller's question is a good one. Like we always ask with these people who reveal stuff in books later. He became HHS secretary. Why didn't you reveal some of this? Which I don't even. What is she revealing? We kind of know. We know him well already, and still the senators voted for him. But whatever. Why weren't you speaking out more from a place of I knew him more personally than y'all did? And then that's a very fair question from Tim. I don't know what her reaction was exactly.
You'd acted to help him. Like you admit in the book, you'd acted to help him over the course of the campaign. And so like once you realized that he was screwing you over, you didn't take any counteraction. You just let him, right? Walk over you.
You're reading about it now. I lost my job.
He's in there and he's doing a lot of bad stuff. Like, don't you look at that and think, like, do you look at that? I guess when you're saying that you have the distance now that have clarity, like, do you see clearly what he's doing now?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's, what was your phrasing? It hasn't been good. I agree with that. I think, that's the correct assessment, but you're sort of, I don't really know what to do with the question that you're asking me because it's making a lot of assumptions.
It's not making assumptions. It's just like you said you helped him, right, during the campaign. And
am I right about it?
You know what I'm feeling today? Love. I'm feeling like this. Ready? Love. So I don't want to be mean. I don't really know her deal. I know Bobby's deal. I'll be mean to him. I know that love's a tough thing. Sometimes a sexy gentleman calls you up and says, Olivia, I really, okay, wait. All right, ready? Okay. I really like what you wrote in the New York Magazine about how worms are tasty. And sometimes someone grabs you up off your feet. I get love is so difficult. And I often place love, whenever I fall in love, back years ago, above a lot of other considerations. So I get how you could have made bad decisions in your journalism because you felt like you were falling in love. Number one, breaking your commitment to your relationship is not good, which was happening. But even set all that aside, I don't know. I can't find much judgment in my heart today. I had it in previous days. It's kind of gone. All I'm feeling is judgment about Bobby. I understand that someone can sweep you off your feet. I'm going to find the correct phrase soon. But I don't understand how Bobby can. And we've been in the office doing trying to figure that out. And we've been bringing in different subjects and kind of going like, what would you like, right? Sort of like interacting with them as Bobby, and I'll put a Bobby face on and seeing if they feel their heart pump to test, like, what is this that is so compelling about him that would cause you to put all this at risk? That's more my question. Not, oh, you made some really wrong decisions. You did. But for him, Bobby, that's where it really confuses me. And then I don't like the way that this interview is being handled. So I've let go of a lot of the and now I'm just saying, the way you're handling this interview, Tim Miller's asking great questions and you seem irritated with him for them. Of course you're going to get asked the questions. Get ready. If you're going to promote your book, American Canto, then you're going to have to answer these questions. And don't do this. Oh, I don't know how to answer this. Yes, you do. Why didn't you divulge more publicly before it was time to sell a book and warn as someone who personally knew him? You can say, because I didn't feel comfortable. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I read about what I did wrong. Yeah.
And it's like, once you've done that, like, you didn't, like you cease to have become like a journalistic actor, and like you're.
Well, I lost my job, right? I was fired.
Right.
I was fired, and I was in hiding, and I was afraid.
Scared? Were you scared? Yeah.
I was terrified.
Of what?
I mean, I write in the book about, I was terrified of the man I did not marry. And I was very worried about people knowing where I was. And
I'm
can you
sorry.
pause this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can pause it.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
You see what I mean? On a human level, I feel bad. And she's saying she was scared of, I guess, Ryan Lizza, the man that she did not marry. She also has spoken about, or at least Lizza has spoken about, her believing that Bobby could threaten her life. That's terrible. And I feel horrible about that. And that's my point about she's getting a level of hate that is a little bit strange. But in a time where Trump ended up in part because of Bobby's role winning the presidency, like, yeah, you're going to have to get pressed on how you were helping him because of your relationship with him. That's just going to happen. And I feel so bad. And I'm sorry that she feels afraid. And I don't know anything about Ryan Lizza. Maybe he's like a threatening person. That's terrible. Bobby, I could imagine being afraid of him just in general. But you're also definitely, if you're going to do a press tour for your book, going to have to answer a few of those questions. How you made your decision about when to go public with what, why you made decisions about helping Bobby and not disclosing to the public the relationship, etc. What your current relationship, like what is going on with Ryan Lizza and you, and what you feel about the stuff he's been posting publicly about you. And all of that's going to have to be on the table, or you don't go public. But if you're going to try to sell the book, then, and you want to do a press tour, you don't even have to do a press tour. You could just put it up on Amazon. But if you're going to do the press tour, because a lot of people are going to feel skeptical if you made a bad journalistic decision and behind the scenes, like, you remember Cuomo lost his CNN job because he was helping his brother behind the scenes, but then he was reporting on news on the air. It's like, this is taken very seriously in media, helping a politician behind the scenes while you're reporting on them, or at least just in the news publicly. And so people are going to feel like, and now you're going to monetize it with a book? You're going to have to answer those questions for sure. Now, apparently the book is not just about the Bobby piece of it, but like the last 10 years. And I was thinking, nah. I was thinking, nah. I was really thinking, I don't need to hear it. I know the last 10 years. Can y'all all sympathize with me for a second? I was 13 when Trump got into politics. This is my life. Now, they were also that age, actually probably tiny notch younger, but they weren't like politically obsessed. So they got to live through a lot of those years normally. I was already politically obsessed. So my life, most of my memories start 13 and on, is all this era of politics. And so I've lived it. I don't need Nuzzi to tell me about it. Tell me about Bobby. That's all I need. Or other things. The other people that maybe she's had interesting run-ins with. Great. Tell your story. I don't need to hear. I'm not going to buy the book. I don't need to hear about how Trump changed politics. I know. Or how media changed. I know. I'm in it. So that was just a side thought. Because I was trying to decide, should I get the book? And then I saw somewhere, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but it was like the story of the last decade of American politics. We've done it. Every book has been that. Even people I love and respect have done those books. They're good books. How the right-wing echo chamber warped our media landscape. Super valuable discussion. All these different narratives have been done, and they're real, and they're true, and they should be studied. I don't need another from Nuzzi. I don't. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't.